Welcome to War Bios, where we delve into the lives of history's most fascinating military figures. Today, we're going to explore the remarkable life of Robert E. Lee, one of the most iconic and complex commanders in American history. From his privileged childhood to his rise as a legendary general, Lee's story is a compelling tale of duty, honor, and the human cost of war. As we step into the world of Robert E. Lee, we find ourselves in the midst of 19th-century Virginia, where the gentle rolling hills and vast estates of the aristocracy stood in stark contrast to the tumultuous era that was unfolding. Born on January 19, 1807 in Westmoreland County, Virginia, Robert Edward Lee was the fifth of 6 children to Henry Lighthorse Harry Lee and Anne Hill Carter Lee. His father, a renowned cavalry officer and hero of the American Revolution, would later influence Lee's own military career. The family's estate, Stratford Hall, stood as a testament to their wealth and social standing, with its grand Georgian architecture and sprawling gardens overlooking the Potomac River. As we imagine the young Robert E. Lee growing up within these storied walls, we're struck by the dichotomy of his childhood, a mix of privilege and hardship. His father's glory days as a military hero had given way to financial struggles, and the family often found themselves on the brink of bankruptcy. The once grand estate was now a reminder of better times, its faded opulence a testament to the transience of fortune. Despite these challenges, Lee's parents instilled in him a strong sense of duty, discipline, and loyalty, which would become the hallmarks of his future career. The young Robert was especially close to his mother, who taught him the importance of self-control, morality, and compassion, values that would guide him throughout his life. As a child, Lee was fascinated by the stories of his father's military exploits, which sparked an early interest in soldiering. He spent hours listening to his father's tales of battle and bravery, imagining himself on the battlefield, leading troops into combat. The smell of gunpowder, the sound of cannons, and the cries of the wounded would become all too familiar to him in the years to come. This fascination with military history and strategy would stay with him throughout his life, shaping his decisions as a commander and informing his approach to warfare. Lee's education began at home, where he received private tutoring in classical subjects such as Latin, Greek, and mathematics. His tutors, often strict and demanding, instilled in him a love of learning and a strong work ethic. In 1825, he entered the United States Military Academy at West Point, where he excelled academically and militarily, graduating second in his class in 1829. During his time at West Point, Lee was exposed to the latest military theories and tactics, which would later influence his own approach to command. He was particularly drawn to the works of Napoleon Bonaparte, whose strategic genius and battlefield prowess would become a benchmark for Lee's own aspirations. The early years of Robert E. Lee's life were marked by a complex interplay of family, history, and personal ambition. As he navigated the challenges of his childhood and adolescence, Lee began to forge the character that would define him as a military leader, a strong sense of duty, a commitment to discipline and self-control, and a deep respect for the art of warfare. These traits, honed in the crucible of his early years, would serve him well as he embarked on a career that would take him to the heights of glory and the depths of defeat. As we explore the life of Robert E. Lee, we must also consider the historical context of his time, an era of rapid change and upheaval in America. The country was expanding westward, and the issue of slavery was becoming increasingly divisive. The question of states' rights versus federal power was simmering just below the surface, waiting to boil over into conflict. Lee's own family was torn apart by these issues, with his father, Henry Lighthorse Harry Lee, a vocal advocate for states' rights and limited government. These conflicting loyalties would eventually come to a head, forcing Robert E. Lee to make impossible choices that would haunt him for the rest of his life. As Robert E. Lee graduated from West Point in 1829, he embarked on a military career that would span over 3 decades, marked by distinguished service, strategic brilliance, and unwavering dedication to his country. The young lieutenant's early years were a testament to his unrelenting work ethic and keen eye for detail, as he tackled various engineering projects with precision and passion. His assignments to Fort Monroe in Virginia and Fort Calhoun in Maryland not only honed his technical skills, but also deepened his understanding of the complex interplay between geography, infrastructure, and military strategy. The misty dawn of a new era broke over Lee's life in 1831 as he married Mary Anna Randolph Custis, a member of the prominent Custis family and a distant relative of George Washington. The union was a happy one, producing 7 children and cementing Lee's connection to the aristocratic circles of Virginia. As he navigated the intricacies of family life, Lee continued to advance in his military career, earning recognition for his exceptional engineering skills and his unwavering commitment to duty. His dedication to his craft was matched only by his devotion to his family, and the harmony between his personal and professional life would remain a hallmark of his character throughout his career. The Mexican-American War marked a significant turning point in Lee's career, as he served as a staff officer under General Winfield Scott during the invasion of Mexico. On September 13, 1847, Lee played a crucial role in the Battle of Chapultepec, where he led a daring reconnaissance mission that helped to secure a decisive American victory. The scene was set amidst the crumbling walls and dusty streets of the ancient city, as Lee's bravery and tactical genius earned him widespread recognition. His promotion to lieutenant colonel and the accolades that followed were a testament to his growing reputation as one of the most promising young officers in the U.S. Army. As the war drew to a close, Lee returned to the United States, where he was appointed superintendent of West Point in 1852. During his 3-year tenure, Lee implemented significant reforms, modernizing the curriculum and emphasizing the importance of discipline, physical fitness, and intellectual rigor. His leadership and vision helped to shape the next generation of American military officers, including many who would go on to fight alongside him in the Civil War. The hallowed halls of West Point resonated with the sound of Lee's voice, as he instilled in his cadets a sense of duty, honor, and country that would stay with them for the rest of their lives. In 1855, Lee was appointed lieutenant colonel of the 2nd Cavalry Regiment, a new unit formed to counter the growing threat of Indian raids on the western frontier. As he led his men through the harsh terrain of Texas and the Great Plains, Lee developed a deep appreciation for the complexities of guerrilla warfare and the importance of adaptability in the face of uncertainty. The vast expanse of the American wilderness was a far cry from the manicured lawns of Virginia, and yet Lee's sense of duty and loyalty remained unwavering. His experiences during this period would later inform his tactics as a Confederate commander, where he would face off against Union forces in a series of epic battles that would shape the course of American history. As tensions between the North and South continued to escalate, Lee found himself increasingly drawn into the vortex of secessionist politics. In 1859, he was summoned to Washington to lead a contingent of Marines in suppressing John Brown's raid on Harper's Ferry, an ill-fated attempt to spark a slave rebellion that ended in bloodshed and failure. The event marked a turning point in Lee's career as he began to grapple with the moral complexities of slavery and the looming specter of civil war. The weight of his conscience hung heavy as he struggled to reconcile his loyalty to the United States with his deep-seated convictions about states' rights and the institution of slavery. As the winter of 1860-61 gave way to spring, Lee was confronted with an impossible choice: remain loyal to the United States and lead federal troops against his native Virginia, or resign his commission and join the Confederacy in its struggle for independence. The decision would haunt him for the rest of his life as he navigated the treacherous landscape of loyalty, duty, and honor that defined the American Civil War. On April 20, 1861, Lee submitted his resignation to Secretary of War Simon Cameron, citing his inability to draw my sword against his home state of Virginia. The die was cast, and Robert E. Lee's fate was forever entwined with that of the Confederacy. As Robert E. Lee's resignation from the United States Army took effect on April 20, 1861, he soon found himself at the helm of the Confederate forces, leading them through some of the most pivotal battles of the American Civil War. The weight of responsibility settled heavily upon his shoulders as he clashed with Union generals like Ulysses S. Grant and George McClellan, their strategic minds locked in a struggle that would determine the fate of a nation. Despite being outnumbered and outgunned, Lee's tactical genius allowed him to secure several key victories, including the Battle of Fredericksburg, where his clever deployment of artillery and infantry repelled the Union Army's repeated assaults, and the Battle of Chancellorsville, where his bold decision to divide his forces and launch a flanking maneuver caught the enemy off guard. However, the tide of the war eventually turned against the Confederacy, and Lee was forced to surrender to Grant at Appomattox Courthouse in April 1865. The defeat was a devastating blow to Lee, who had invested his heart and soul into the Confederate cause. As he rode away from the surrender ceremony, the somber atmosphere was palpable, and his words to one of his officers, "I would rather die 1,000 deaths than see this nation torn apart," encapsulated the sense of duty, honor, and loyalty that had guided him throughout his life. The weight of his responsibilities, the burden of defeat, and the uncertain future of the South all converged in that moment, revealing the depth of his emotional struggle. In the years following the war, Lee struggled to come to terms with the defeat of the Confederacy and the abolition of slavery. He became the president of Washington College, a small institution in Lexington, Virginia, where he worked tirelessly to promote education and reconciliation. Despite his own personal struggles, Lee remained committed to rebuilding the South and promoting national unity. His leadership during this period was marked by a sense of humility and a willingness to adapt to the changing circumstances of the post-war era. As he navigated the complexities of Reconstruction, Lee's commitment to education and reconciliation served as a beacon of hope for a nation still reeling from the devastating consequences of war. As the years passed, Lee's reputation as a military leader and statesman continued to grow. He received numerous accolades and tributes, including a grand funeral procession in Richmond, Virginia, after his death on October 12, 1870. The outpouring of grief and admiration from across the nation was a testament to the enduring legacy of Robert E. Lee. His funeral procession, which wound its way through the streets of Richmond, was a poignant reminder of the impact he had on the lives of those who knew him and those who only knew of him through his legend. Today, Lee is remembered as one of the most complex and fascinating figures in American history. His commitment to duty, honor, and loyalty continues to inspire people around the world. As historian Douglas Southall Freeman once observed, Lee's story is a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there are always choices to be made, and that the decisions we make have consequences that can shape the course of history. The multifaceted nature of Lee's personality, marked by both brilliant strategic insights and personal flaws, serves as a powerful reminder that leadership is not solely the domain of the flawless, but rather the realm of the human. His commitment to education, reconciliation, and national unity continues to inspire us today. As we strive to build a more just and equitable society, we would do well to remember Lee's words. "It is well that war is so terrible. Otherwise, we should grow too fond of it." These words serve as a poignant reminder of the devastating consequences of conflict and the importance of working towards peace and understanding. The lessons of Lee's life, marked by both triumph and tragedy, offer a powerful framework for navigating the complexities of our own time. Lee serves as a powerful reminder that leadership is not solely about achieving victory, but about the choices we make in the face of adversity. His legacy continues to inspire us today, offering a nuanced and complex exploration of the human experience. That's all for today's War Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I'm General Biography reminding you to keep marching toward victory.